It's the button. Sometimes, like,
Yep.
I need to, like, it almost went. Or we're live right now.
Yeah.
And that's the.
And that's just going to be the image is you just clicking.
me just clicking
What's
over.
going on?
And
Facebook.
And over. And over.
Yeah.
But we are recording the video and the audio of this that will be on a podcast later, which we can edit it.
Nice.
What's up? Hey, we're live.
Fantastic.
Hey.
Woo-hoo.
It's just after 10 o'clock. I'm going to throw us on the FM. I have my good friends from the Texas City Mormon Memorial Public Library here in studio. We're going to be talking about everything that's going on as they are back at it again.
We're back.
They're live.
Oh,
so are we.
live. Yeah.
Share
We're
this
open
stream.
right now.
Who's running the library?
Lots of people.
There's a
We're
team
staffed.
there.
Yeah.
All right.
It's burning down.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. My name is Gardy, and I have some special guests here in studio as we are going to be learning about everything that is going on in the world, specifically Texas City, specifically at the Mormon Memorial Public Library. Good morning. How you guys doing?
It's
Good
all you
morning.
need.
Doing
You
great.
know,
Yeah,
doing very good.
I'm glad y'all are here today. So y'all are open. First thing, can we introduce y'all? Say
Sure.
y'all's names and then what y'all's roles are.
Oh, my name's Jessica Matos. I am Adult Services and Reference Librarian at the library. So I'm in charge of adult programming. I'll be starting a volunteer program, and then you'll see me all the time at the reference desk. Oh, and interlibrary loans. I do that as well.
What is interlibrary loans?
That, if there is a book that you are looking for that we do not have in our catalog, we can search and see if maybe another library will let us borrow it for you.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
And it's usually, 90% of titles we get, people say, do you have this? It's very high percentage we can get for people in book or audiobook on CD form. So if we don't have something, we can usually get it for them.
So also, like, that's really awesome for maybe foreign language
Very,
and things like that, because while we have a small collection, it's not extensive. So, there might be something like that people are looking for.
Yet.
Oh, yes.
And I am Luke Alvey Henderson. I'm the library director, so that's just, I get to tell other people what to do and pretend like I'm busy.
That's awesome. that is awesome. So the library is open. It was closed. If you were living under a rock, maybe you didn't know, but y'all were closed for some time. But it was for renovations and some cool stuff, right?
Yeah, we haven't done a renovation project since the 1980s, so it was a little overdue. And so we did not want to just do a facelift. We did a massive renovation project where we knocked down walls and put up some new walls and, added 2 private study rooms, 2 group meeting rooms, completely changed our shelving layout, completely replaced every stick of furniture, added in some really wonderful surprises in there, completely changed the layout and entrance to our children's department and our lobby area, made it a lounge area where you can have snacks. Just so many changes. So it was originally going to be a 4-month project, and of all things, carpet delayed us to make it a 6-month project, but we used those extra 2 months to really bear down and make sure that some of the other small touches were much nicer. They would have been if we had opened it 4 months, there would have definitely been more rough edges than had we.
Right.
With the carpet delay, we put to very good use to make sure that the opening was very successful.
What has been the feedback so far? What are people saying?
Super, they come in, they're like, it's a huge difference. They really think that we've expanded.
Yes.
Because the space is open so much more, and while we've added very little lighting,
Almost none. We've added a couple of lights. We changed the lighting in the lobby because that was redone, and we added a few lights here and there, but almost none. But everyone says, "Oh, it's so much brighter," because we changed the shelving layout so you actually get natural light coming in. So it looks like it's a lot brighter, but we spent almost nothing on lighting compared to where else we spent.
Yeah.
But it looks like it did.
and then if you drive by, one of the first things, even while we were still renovating, everyone would call because they think we're open because they could see the lights in the children's department because there used to be a huge wall in front of there.
Yep.
So with that wall gone, it looks like this huge space. You can look out the windows and see all the landscaping and stuff like that. So that's a huge plus as well. Everyone's been like, oh my gosh.
Cool.
Yeah, you get a lot of the walking and then just looking all around with disbelieving eyes, which is, exactly what we were going for. So we're really happy with the response. And, people have been very thrilled that, this is something that looks very modern, very new, very state-of-the-art, and they feel very proud as Texasidians that, they have that in their community, and it's exactly what we were going for, and it's exactly what the city wanted, and we were able to do it with a very reasonable budget. It looks like, people say, oh, it looks like $1 million. It's about what it costs is $1 million. It looks a lot better than that.
Oh, yeah.
It's unbelievable what they were able to do. And when people see it, we kept telling people who were upset about the 2-month additional wait, which we were too. I mean, we wanted back. We'd say, we are so sorry, but we promise you it'll be worth the wait. And we haven't had anyone who has disagreed with that so far.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So one thing that I noticed, and y'all mentioned the lighting, but as you walk by all the bookshelves, there's that really cool little hole. I don't know what it's called, but maybe the lighting is being spread further.
Portals.
The
Yes.
portal.
Yes, the view portals is what they called them for. And basically, you have these really tall shelving units that are books on both sides, and you have a lot of them because we have over 150,000 books.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing you can do to open that up is just to remove 2 shelves on each side, and you make a view portal. And some libraries are just leaving it open like that, but we added a nice little piece in that's a pop of color. It's nice Texas City orange, and you can look straight through, and it really opens up the space. It really makes it feel more light and more breathable and less claustrophobic. Even though we have just plenty of shelves still, it feels so much more open even when you're walking through the shelves.
Yeah, so the grand opening,
yeah,
it was awesome. There was like some refreshments. I don't know. I saw somewhere, was it Barefoot Bakery?
It was Barefoot Bakery,
yes.
my favorite bakery in the universe.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're on 6th Street.
They're on 6th Street, right next to Hey Mikey's. I cannot recommend them enough. Wonderful couple who owns the place, who are just so wonderful to talk to. Everyone who works there is just so warm and gives you great recommendations every time. And it is just some of the highest quality bakery items I've ever had.
Good.
So good.
So
I
good.
actually went there this morning.
Really?
It's been a problem. Like, they are the number one detriment to my New Year's resolutions because they're so good. And, of course, we said while supplies last. That was
Yes.
less than 2 hours because we had such a
Because Luke was there.
Well, I was nice. I didn't
got
eat
nothing.
a single item. I don't think anyone on the staff did.
Yeah.
Because we wanted the public to have everything, so we didn't eat anything. We were the ones who did without, but we had over 2,000 people the first day.
Yeah. Wow.
For reference, a good month for us is on average about 10,000 people for a full 30-day month. So to get 2,000 in a single day, and we've had 5,000 total with last week. So, pretty busy now. Pretty steady. 3,000 in 1 week and 2,000 in 1 day is pretty good.
That is crazy. That's very good. So y'all were having drawings. Was there any other special events going on, like scavenger hunts or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the children's department had a great scavenger hunt. How many kids were there?
We had over 80 kids do the scavenger hunt, and we had a teen scavenger hunt, and we had a handful of teens do that, which it's always a small number with teens because a lot of them don't want to do something dorky like a scavenger hunt. But we had several kids do it and win prizes, which was really exciting for us because they were there on a day off of school. They actually came.
It's
and
President's
stuck around
Day.
long enough to do it. So we were really happy about that, and we've had really high teen use of the library since we opened.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Because we have all these quiet little spots you can kind of hide, that you're not in direct line of sight constantly, but have somewhere you can plug in. And every day after school, that's been filled. And yesterday, right before I left, around 5 o'clock, the whole lobby area was filled with kids waiting to get picked up, just quietly having a snack from the vending machines, plugged into power, and speaking in quiet voices in the front lobby. It was really
a lot of times,
amazing.
I noticed before we closed, well, it was summer, so there weren't
Yeah.
as many studying, but we got a lot who are just spread out with tons of books.
Yes.
Using the space not just for socializing and things like that, which
Yep.
is great, but using it for quiet spaces to study as well.
Yeah, and we have-
it's been
Yeah, we have a lot more square footage for them to put stuff down and to also power their devices while they do it. So it's been great. And it just really speaks to what a great job the architects did on design because we haven't had to put up any signage of this is a quiet space, use quieter voices here. People are just automatically knowing that because, as they go further in the library and it's a calming effect. and they're being quieter on their own. We haven't had to shush people there or put up signage. We designed this in the far corner where these tables are, surrounded by some bookshelves so you can't see it till you're around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a quiet spot for people. They're all being quiet. We haven't even had to tell people. So design is amazing how it can just trick the human brain like
Just
little
know.
lab rats into walking where you're supposed to.
You've told them all now.
It worked. It worked.
Yeah. So it was cool because there was this part where you walk in, there's the help desk where people may be talking, and then the computers, and there's a lot of computers that are there and more space as opposed to what it was before.
Yeah.
But the conference rooms were cool. That was one of the neatest things where it was like, now you see me, now you don't.
Yeah. So we have 2 group meeting rooms. And they have, this really great little film on it that runs an electrical current through it with the flip of a switch. And it goes from clear to white and opaque. So we're already having classes there, and they don't get disturbed while they're in class. And I've had a few meetings in there, and it's really great. And even our private study rooms that don't have that glass, you can shut the door and not be heard. And we've had every day we've had people studying it, or we've had several different groups like United Way or
Gulf Coast, the Gulf Coast Center. So a lot of nonprofits.
Bringing a client there to talk to.
We talked to while we were closed. We're like, hey, we're going to have these, and it's a nice neutral space that they can meet with their various clients and things like that.
Okay.
And so they're already reserving space, like CASA has talked to us as well about reserving space and such. So that was super exciting.
Yeah.
And we've had some law students who reserve space for just to sit and study. Mm-hmm. And because they have, these also screens where if you wanted to use connect for computer kind of thing, that you have touch screens right there in those study rooms as well.
Yeah, they're big.
Yeah.
Big interactive screen.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it's great for, doing a Skype interview, practicing a presentation, just working on a group project. We had a couple teens in there just drawing memes because it was funny. That was pretty cool. That was pretty neat.
Yeah.
But it was really great for that. And they just have traditional whiteboards as well for when you just, want to low tech it and just, this is my 4-point plan. I do not want to put it on a screen. But
play hangman. Just,
exactly. Yeah, absolutely. You got 2 hours. It's your time.
It's your time.
Yeah. So what else do y'all have going on? Like, is the programming coming back into the works now?
Yeah, we had a Saturday program where Crocodile Encounters came out. They're from Angleton. And we had over 55 kids.
I saw y'all's post about that.
And then we unfortunately had to turn
We're
away
like, oh my gosh,
20 kids. And we felt really bad about having to turn so many families away because we were not anticipating that much of a crowd, or we would have had some sort of side event to, lessen the blow. But we just have never had anywhere close to those numbers on a non-summer children's event in my 10 years there. And I know, just from talking to my predecessor, it had been more like probably around 15 years since our programming numbers were that high.
Yeah.
And we knew we'd have renewed interest with a program like that, and we knew we'd have renewed interest because we'd been closed for a while. But that was literally more than 5 times that we normally would go to a Saturday program for children's. We normally see our highest numbers in summer. So, yep, it caught us on guard. We felt bad about having to turn so many people away. But it was, in some ways a good problem to have that many people wanted to try us out. And our next Saturday program we're doing in March, we're going to make a ticketed affair so people have a better idea of how many spots are open.
Next Saturday, children's program.
Children's
programming. I saw
in March, not the Saturdays we're doing
not,
this. Yeah.
Not this Saturday.
Yeah. I saw the post that y'all made. It's like, hey, as of right now, we're full, just letting everybody know. And someone said, well, to be fair, y'all had been saying you need to, let us know that you're coming and get your spot.
But we heard from enough people that said they just didn't understand they had to get early to get in at all. And we heard from enough. When you hear from one person, maybe that person's a crank. When you hear from 10 different people saying, hey, we felt misled,
we need to work on procedures.
I'm not going to say, even if another 40 people say, no, you're right. If 10 out of the 40, if a quarter of people say, no, I didn't know that, then we messed up on messaging. And so I was the one who wrote the apology. I was the one there that day. Mm-hmm. I was the one who screwed it up. And so we're going to fix it. So our messaging will be better in the future. So when we do another children's program like that where we have an outside presenter, it'll either be ticketed so you're going or not. We'll do it on multiple days so more people have a chance. We'll have a side program. We'll find other ways so that if someone shows up and they're not going there, it isn't just me saying, I'm sorry, it's full. It's saying, I'm sorry, it's full.
But we have story time over here.
Something of value will be added. So, yeah, we learned from that one because it was just totally unprecedented. So it was really, really surprising and really touching that many people came out for the opening.
Cool. So here's a question that just came in. And before I ask this one, somebody at the opening on President's Day, whenever y'all opened, they were asking about the shirts y'all had on, the Moore Memorial Public Library. And someone was like, hey, are those for sale? Are those for sale? And then they were like, I don't know. I don't
Luke
think
has
so.
an
Let
answer.
me ask Luke. But, somebody said, hey, is there a store inside of the Moore Memorial Public Library with the renovation?
So we have a sale cart where you can buy books, and those proceeds go to the Friends of the Library. We take the proceeds for them. And the Friends of the Library is a separate charitable organization that can take donations, it can sell things, and then they buy items for the library. And they've bought benches, they've bought shelving, they've bought children's programming materials, they've bought teen programs materials, really great stuff. So they're a wonderful resource. And we have had a few questions about shirts. So probably we will if we get enough questions. It's with shirts, you have to order enough of them so that you know that they're going to sell. So because you get what we don't want to do is, double the price that we pay or triple it so that even if we only sell a fraction of them, we meet our costs. We want to keep with anything we're selling for the Friends costs low enough that, whatever we're ordering, we have a pretty good belief that it will sell. So we're going to start selling our new library totes for the Friends. But we're going to set those at $2 a pop. They don't cost us, they cost us a little over $1 a pop, so it's not anywhere near the profit margins that we could set if we wanted to be really, safe to make it. But I don't want to charge people $5 for it when we could charge $2 and still make a little profit. We do the same thing with the books we get as donations. It's either $1 for a hardback book or 50 cents for a paperback because, frankly, we want to charge as little as we can to still make a little money for the Friends, and it builds up over time. It builds up in volume, which is what we're going for because, I want to take, as a library, almost everything is free, and if we're giving someone a value, we want it to be as close to free as possible. So with the shirts, that's going to just take a little more time of us doing the math and figuring out what sizes are going to do best. We're going to be doing a survey in a couple of months, and if that survey gets good responses and gets good respondents, then we'll hopefully be able to do a follow-up and say, okay, now that you've just done a survey, we're about to do a short shirt survey. What sizes would you like?
Yeah.
And once we get a good idea of what are the most popular sizes to purchase, then we'll have a better idea of, what a good price point is. If we can sell them for $5 or $10, because I don't want to sell a $20 T-shirt.
Well, it depends. If you ask the right librarian, it's like, hey, how much for the shirt?
Yeah.
And they have an extra one. It's like, I'll give you
I have
$20.
two.
Oh, Luke,
Yeah.
I lost my shirt.
And Luke wore this one, so it
Yeah.
adds at least double the
yeah.
value. So it's a $45, $50 shirt.
Yeah.
But if it was, the one you wore at the grand opening, and then times how many people went there? 5,000. I mean,
2,000 that
astronomical.
day. We've had 5,000 since. So we
I'm
had
like, how do you
3,000
know? I've got
week.
10 of those grand opening shirts in the closet.
there you go.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to crunch the numbers.
But
do a little math.
It's a good question, but we with some of the stuff we've ordered for prizes, if we get enough people asking for it, we'll find a way to make it work.
Yeah, cool. Hey, can we talk about the U.S. citizenship classes that y'all have?
Yes, we can. Definitely.
What's going on with that?
So on Tuesdays from 5 to 7, so we have a partner now. They're called Ser Yaser, and they're a group, and it's all volunteers, and they are started about 9 or 10 years ago, working in the Galveston area. Started ESL classes, so English as a second language classes, conversation, and then preparing for citizenship. And a lot of the volunteers, they went through the process themselves.
Yes.
And such. So with that, Magdalena Alvarado is the my contact person and such. And she's super sweet. And all of her volunteers are fantastic.
Oh, absolutely.
And what they do is you register with them, and you can start sort of mid-course.
Absolutely.
And with that, as they'll tell you some of the things that you need, like you shouldn't be taking the course yet if you haven't had your green card, your resident card for 5 years.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of thing, because you can't even apply for citizenship yet.
Absolutely.
Kind of thing. So they'll tell you, okay, you need this and this and such. And then then you start the class, and they take a field trip. I need to ask them when that is. Going to take a field trip to the USCIS office, the United States Custom Immigration Service office and such, to even like see where you go. Yeah. This is how you do the interview. And part of the classes, they practice together, but they also pull small groups aside and they practice their interview and such. And they go through the exact step by step. This is what you're going to be doing. And then now we practice. And they're super flexible. Like if you miss a class at our location, they have like 4 or 5 other locations throughout the week that they tell their people about, the class members. And so you can go to a different location at that time. You can go to their Dickinson, you can go to their Pasadena, you can go to Galveston and such and take the same class. They've had people who go every night sometimes just to practice for their interview and such. So with that, we even had for very first class, we had a USCIS, the not agent, but one of their representatives come and go through what they're going to be talking about and such. So every so in the fall, the same thing with the first class of this sort of semester, they have the person come and talk to them about the procedures. But it's pretty. What it is while they had a location here in Texas City, they were having issues finding a good space because they found that they got more attendance in the evening, but a lot of the schools and maybe even some of the really nice churches, they couldn't, be open consistently during certain hours. So now that we have the meeting rooms, we were like, we have this space and such. And it's been, they've been really great to talk to and work with, and we're so happy that we can provide that space for them. But yes, so Tuesdays 5 to 7, give our reference desk a call or even DM us on Facebook or something like
absolutely.
that. We can always
do you have to
get
save
you
a spot
information.
Or something?
It's more that you just have to let them know that you're coming so they can sort of prepare some materials for you, and they can just have an idea of what numbers they have.
Yeah, but it's not closed for students. New students can join. If you're not sure if you're within the range, reach out to us and we'll get you in contact with them so they can clarify that. But it's just a wonderful course. And
it's also, while it's Seria Ser, they're our partners, and a lot of the things they do are either bilingual or some of it. If everyone who's there speaks Spanish, then they do a lot of things in Spanish and they're practicing English. But it is open for everybody.
Absolutely.
So they've worked with people from Nigeria,
Norway,
Czechoslovakia, Turkey, all over the place.
All over the world.
All over the world. And if you're looking for, and they have extra resources for other languages, that they'll be like, oh, you need to talk to these people to get some extra, materials and things like that. So
John Oliver recently did an interview where he talked about how grueling and scary the citizenship process was. And he is a native English speaker, being from England and all. It's not as good because it's English. But
now, though, if you have your residency for over 20 years and you're a certain age, you can do your interview and everything in your native language.
Yeah.
Like there's certain requirements, and there's some extra things that I learned about. I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't know you could do that.
That makes sense.
It's just a great resource, and we're just really happy to partner with them, and we're just really happy for having these rooms because, we have other nights open, and we're already going to be starting another program with the Workforce Solutions, but we have slots open for groups who want to reach out to the public, but maybe they're not getting enough attendance at the space they have because maybe it's a little off the beaten path, or maybe people aren't looking to that organization for that because they don't know they do that. We'll use our marketing apparatus. We'll use the City of Texas City's marketing apparatus. We will make sure people know it, that you do it, and we're still looking for partners to use our space.
So the Moore Memorial Public Library is who we are speaking to today. Right now it's 1027. It's KHEAradio.com, 99.5 FM. It's Kickstart. My name's Gardy. And speaking of using the City of Texas City's resources, they commented from their social media and said, hey, Luke, nice sports coat.
Thank you.
Thank you, Texas City.
My wife bought it. She's so nice.
Yeah. So you mentioned about the workforce solutions. I had them in studio the other day.
Oh, they're so
and
great.
they brought that
fantastic.
up, and I was like, actually, I already know all about this. I already know everything about this. But
Gardy, can't catch him. Don't catch Gardy sleeping.
so, can you explain if somebody doesn't know all about it, or
Yeah.
this is their first time to hear it? Workforce Solutions. What do they do, and how are y'all partnering together?
Okay, so Workforce Solutions, some people, now they have, and I've sat down with them a bit, and they've summarized a lot of their services. Now, with that, they are there to help people find jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some people think of them mistakenly as the unemployment office. They
No.
are not.
No.
I think people used to get sent to them having to get some sort of documentation for the unemployment office, but you go in and you go to their not concierge.
They got the little. There's a
They have
desk.
a little
There's a
desk
little
right
desk
there.
as soon as you
there
walk
is
A little
in.
desk
Yeah.
right there, and
Mhm.
you explain, your needs or why you're there, to get help, and then they direct you to their different resources. And
Yep.
they have, in the back, they also do work a lot with the disabled, with veterans,
Absolutely.
and things like that. They have classes every week, which are working on job skills
Absolutely.
and interviewing skills, job seeking skills, and things
Mhm.
like that. And then as well, they're also compiling lists of resources. They have tons of partners. Like I went to a meeting a couple
me.
weeks ago, and there was a gentleman from Alvin Community College who was talking about their welding and pipe fitting program,
Yep.
Cool.
which you only have to be 18 years old or and above to sign up for this. And it's the only program that has no financial requirements.
Yeah, it's
Like
a grant
everywhere
process.
else for free or something like that for scholarships, you have to be a certain
Yes.
income.
Mhm.
Like this one that they have at Alvin Community College for their welding and pipe fitting, it's the only program in the area where you there's not a financial requirement and stuff, and you can get certified that way. You can get higher pay at whatever job you're at, and it also goes to different companies as well. But that kind of thing. So they're partnering with
know
people to
everybody.
provide those resources and such. So now one of the things they did talk about is a lot of people, because they thought of them in conjunction with the unemployment office, is there's sort of a stigma sometimes to going there because you're going to in their brain it's the unemployment off or something like that.
Yeah.
So and there's not as much with I'm going to the library to learn about job skills.
Exactly.
kind of thing. So they're doing some of their job skill and job search seminars. They're going to be on Thursdays, starting every other Thursday, starting the first week of March, and March 5th. And with that, it's going to be 9:30 in the morning, and such. And it's just going to be every other Thursday. You don't have to register. You just stop in.
Just show
There's
up.
four different, four different sessions, and they're all going to be dealing with certain things. So, like the first one's going to be like creating a targeted job plan. Then it's going to be practicing communications on communicating with your interviewer and on your application, especially because with the new technologies that has changed immensely.
Hugely.
Like if you don't use certain keywords, the computer systems aren't even going to notice your application.
Yeah. Algorithms kicking you out. It's ridiculous.
And such. So, that kind of thing. And then it continues. Let's see. Oh, I know the last one was is using social media and also following up with interviewers about your interview and things like that. So, and if anyone's looking for that extra information, definitely have flyers at our information desk. We'll also be posting. We have it in our newsletter. We'll be posting on Facebook what each seminar is as it comes around. So be on the lookout for that. But that's what they're going to be doing. And then probably, I haven't set a date yet, but probably in April, I'll be doing a resume workshop.
Yes.
Cool.
Which will be geared toward, we will in there
Build a
create and build a basic resume.
And then, you can always add to it
such.
on time.
So,
over time, but you'll have a
creating
workable
something,
resume.
that
Cook the books.
that looks good.
I went to Harvard. On my resume.
Sure.
Yeah.
I did not go to Harvard.
Yeah.
Just on the resume. On
I
paper,
believe
yeah.
it. I believe it.
Yeah.
I'm like, who checks those? No one checks the references. No.
And with the seminar, it's a 4-part seminar, but it's not necessarily 1, 2, 3, 4. If you miss one, you just don't go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can go in any order.
You can check out one and all. I strongly recommend people check all of them because Workforce Solutions just has excellent training, and they're very practical. You know, you're not just going to be sitting there listening to a lecture where they write a few things on a chalkboard
Just do
about
it.
theory. No, it's very practical. You will leave with practical skills. You are more likely to get a job if you go to this seminar. They're just very good. They have very good rates at job placement, and we really believe in them as a partner.
And, as if, these sessions as they go, and we find that, these are going really well and people are really interested in these, we'll try and get it so it's ongoing. This is our pilot program. We're going to see how these go and such. But that is our workforce solution.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So it's cool y'all do those partnerships, but y'all also do stuff in-house. Like you mentioned, the resume building.
Yes.
Do y'all also do any other kind of classes? I know y'all have done like computer classes in the past.
Exactly. We're starting those up.
Friday.
They're coming back?
Not this Friday.
No.
Next Friday.
Next Friday?
Next Friday.
Friday
Yeah,
next.
sorry.
So March
Friday.
March 6th.
Everything
is
in March, yeah.
Our very first computer class. It's going to be all on Fridays. The only one we're not having one Good Friday when we're closed,
Yeah.
and such. But there's a schedule to them, and there is, if you are not skilled in any computer things, there is an order
Progression.
a progression to this. So the very first one is basic mouse. Is because many patrons who maybe don't use a computer on a daily basis have issues with just some basic mousing skills with double clicking and what the difference between right and left click is, and how to get to menus and scroll and drag things and things like that. So it's just working with the mouse, and that's going to be our Friday, March 6th. And then it's going to continue on for basic internet and Windows, and then Word, setting up an email and such, and then talking about some different things that as the technology's progressed, and we've had this before where a patron comes in and they've forgotten their password and they've lost their phone.
Yep.
Happens.
It does.
And that is where, if there's either no extra email address or their phone's gone, there's no way to get that if you don't remember if you remember no passwords at all.
It's virtually
Or setting up secret questions and
Well, they don't even
secret questions
Gmail
are
hasn't
almost
even
non-existent anymore
Yeah,
because they're
Gmail
just so
hasn't even
hackable.
been asking those anymore.
They
really?
want them to tie to another, device or account that you as an individual can log into. It's called, two-party verification.
Yeah.
It's what all of the emails are going to. And so it's something in setting up an email we do in that class, because we have just seen so many heartbreaks where they come to the desk and we work as hard as we can with them for a long time, but they just can't remember any of the information they have and they don't have access to it. Or yes, they had an email, but they don't know the password to that one anymore. And so we work as hard as we can. Okay, let's see if we can figure out that password.
Try this one, and then
it doesn't work. And so they're locked out of their account. They're locked out, and there's nothing we can get them to talk to a human being about it. But we have found that the rates of the human being being able to do anything to help them is very, very, very low.
Yeah.
So it's a great class in that you go in and you don't have an email address and you come out and you do.
Yeah, one thing y'all probably focus on this is the importance of picking the name if it's like professional enough.
Yes.
Because, like my email whenever I was 12 years old and decided to make an email, I can't use anymore because it's just, but I switched to Gmail and it was like a Hotmail account and all that stuff. But like somebody thinking like, oh yeah, this is cool. And then on a job application you put like, I love cheeseburgers, 37. I'm 37, cheeseburgers. That's not the most professional one.
Yes.
Use something that may work in
Sonic
like most
fan
aspects.
1, 2, 3, 4 is not really great when you're
Got to catch them all.
Yeah.
Pikachu one is the best. I don't know. It's all kinds of stuff. So what is something that people should look for in a good email name?
Well, for a professional email name, it's your name is usually one of the best things because you'll remember it.
Yes.
Is a big thing. And then anyone seeing it, they'll be more likely to also remember it as well. And
remember your name.
And remember your name.
So you may have to use your middle name
such.
for that. You may have to use a few numbers if you have a more common name.
Right.
I do.
I'm lucky. There's not a whole lot of Luke Alvey Hendersons
Yes.
out there. So that makes it easy for me. I got my
Fortunate.
own. Yes.
Yeah, my wife's name's Jennifer Garcia.
Oh,
So yeah,
Pretty
so she's
like,
going to need
wait
some
a second.
argumentation there. She's
Yeah.
going to need some argumentation.
Throw some numbers in and
Yeah.
stuff. So that's awesome. So these classes, they're coming up. They're starting next Friday.
Yeah, registering right now. So
Oh yeah, so
Give us a call,
those do
stop
require registration. Each class you have to register by the Wednesday before that class.
So you can register right now for that class up till the
Wednesday.
Wednesday of the next week. And yeah, and so it's a good class. I've been doing those classes for 10 years.
This will be my first time.
I won't be teaching them this time unless someone gets sick, and then I will, which happens almost at least once every semester, and I love doing them. But I can tell you, for the 10 years I've been doing it, if people go to these classes and start with literally zero computer skills, and they go to all the classes and they practice, which we stress there that we have computers to practice with, and we have reference professionals to help them practice, they will learn basic computer skills and be able to do the basics of job searches and be able to do the basics of information searches and do the basics of, hey, I have to fill out this information for my insurance, and what do you mean I have to have an email? Doesn't matter. Now you do. You have an email. You may only use it for registering for things, but now you have it. So it really does work. And so we're really proud of the classes because if people show up and if people practice a little bit every week, they'll go from I can't do this to, okay, I can do this. I don't like it very much. But
I remember how to save a file and find that folder and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's start with programming with the little ones, and then we'll work our way up.
Okay. Babies to up. So our children's story times are back. We had them this week, Tuesday and Wednesday. And our children's story times are toddlerific story time for ages 1 to 3 every Tuesday at 10 a.m. and preschool story time every Wednesday at 10 a.m.
Right
and that's
now,
for
happening.
ages to 3 to 5. And so we have 3 to 5 and 1 to 3. So if you have a 3-year-old, I'm like, well, which one I should go to? Go to both and figure out which your 3-year-old likes best, or go to both every week. We don't care. It just some 3-year-olds, tend to like the toddlerific better. Some 3-year-olds like the preschool. A lot of them start in one for a month and then go to the next one. We love it. And it's a story, it's songs, it's, a lot of movement. It builds sensory motor skills. And Carol, our children's librarian, is really focused on pre-literacy. Pre-literacy being all the skills you learn so that you can learn how to read over time. And so her story times are very geared towards that. And, it's just such a wonderful resource. I can't tell you how many parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, the people who are bringing these little kiddos to them have said, I didn't think there was something much to telling a story, but I've actually learned how to read to these kids by going to these things, and it's really helped. She loves books now. She won't stop crawling and give me a book to read, and it really is. One of the things we are absolutely proudest about is our story times, because it really is right there a way to build a love of reading literally in an infant. And a lot of people who don't have infants or haven't read to infants don't know that you can do that, but you literally can build loves of reading years before they will ever be reading. And when you build those building blocks, it makes it so much easier for them later on.
How has the children's department changed with the new renovations?
Drastically.
It has changed a lot. We have these great portal cubby
Holes
holes
That you can sit in.
have gotten tremendous use.
So much use.
Both inside and outside of children's.
Yeah.
Like we've had teens in those.
Just chilling with their laptop. Yeah. It's so cool.
And such. And so, they can curl up with a book inside the cubby hole and also see outside. And there's the circular ones that everyone sees, and some people don't necessarily see the square ones that are further in the department. So we have those.
That are nice.
Some fantastic seating in the back that sometimes people miss as well. It's where you can pull it out and you can sort of stretch out on it, like a parent and a child can sit and read, and or it can be just like a regular seat. And we have this little. It looks kind of like an amphitheater with little cushions and stuff, where we plan on doing some little story time things there,
story times and stuff there,
and stuff. And we've had a lot of people, parents and kids, just sit on those little steps
and
such.
Read. They love it.
Oh, these are these little tables, the circular tables where the kids can sit and color and draw on those, and then take just tear the paper
There's
off
just
and
a
take it.
table-sized round sheet of paper, like that you can just rip off the next one, and so they're just getting the fun of drawing all over a table.
Yeah.
And they take it home with them.
Oh,
It has
that's
been
cool.
insanely popular, and I love that furniture. It was funny when we went to the showcase to look at all different furniture. They showed us and said, we always show people this, but most people say no because they don't want to be responsible for replenishing the paper. And I said, no, we want to.
Yeah.
Because I know the kids at my library, they love all the coloring sheets we put out. Anything we put out runs out. We're constantly having to reprint or recut. And I was like, this is fantastic. And they have just loved it. And so it was well worth having to be responsible for replenishing some paper.
Is there charging stations in the children's area too?
Not in the children's.
I didn't think so. I was like, it
Because-
doesn't seem like there would be a use for it.
Well, there are some kids who have their own personal devices, but those tend to be the older kids, 10 and up. And ages 10 and up can be anywhere they want in the library.
Mm-hmm.
As long as there's a, parent present, it's fine. They just have to, they can use one of the charging stations that is very visible in the lounge, right next to children's or right next to the info desk. They're fine. So it's perfectly acceptable. Most of the kids in our space who use children's were not using personal devices. It was relatively rare. If they were using a personal device alongside one of their parents who was using a computer. And so the computer, they have a place they can plug in now right next to those. So yeah, we opted away from that because significantly increases the cost for the public to add power to an area for that. And, it also takes up some space, and we'd rather put an extra chair, put some more books, and some charging stations in there.
Yeah, if all the other charging stations were taken, then people would just be like trying to hang out in the kids' area. And it's
That
like,
was also a
this is
concern.
for the kids.
That was also a concern,
You
yes.
can leave out there, you know. And then also I'm thinking of sometimes I'm guilty. It's like, oh, my phone is dead. I'm going to be on my phone and charge it. I'm looking at it, and then my kid is right there.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I should be watching my kid. But if I'm at home, it's different. But if I'm like in a public place, and it's like, well, you shouldn't just be sitting there plugging on your
With your
phone.
phone.
Yeah.
Watch your child.
Yeah.
I'm parenting, right? So, okay, let's move up a little bit. You know who does have a lot of devices? The teenagers.
The teens,
Oh,
they
gosh,
do.
yes.
Yeah, so what kind of programming do we have going on for them?
All right. So teen programs are starting up March. So the first Friday in March, we've got the Anime and Manga Club coming up. And so a lot of the teen programs, so on Fridays is when they're going to be, it's going to be 4:30 to 6:30, 4:30 to 5:30. We closed at 6. 4:30 to 5:30.
Hey, if the party's rocking, don't want to stop it. Let's keep this thing going all night.
And so they're going to be doing Anime and Manga Club. And just so you know, for teens, it's ages 12 to 18.
We let 12-year-olds be teens. We figure
And such,
it's hard enough being 12.
Yeah.
Let
You're
them
like
go.
sort of at that in-between age.
And
like, where do I go?
And we find that most of the people who go to our teen programs tend to be in the range between 12 to 15.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a younger skewing group anyway. So it's worked out real well. I was the teen librarian for 6 years, so I'm so glad these programs are coming back. I actually started both these clubs, the Anime Club and the Board Games Fridays, which is the second Friday of every month. And it's just been a great way to meet some of the best teens in the world. I love our Texas City teens. They're so cool and weird and funny and funky. And so we're so glad to have them back. We've seen so many of them just using the space since we came back. So we're really happy to start programming again so they can have something fun to do.
Cool. Very
Yeah.
cool.
And then the second Friday of March, that March 13th, that's the board games. Board games you've never played before. Tons of cool stuff. And Megan is always looking for like some of the new upcoming trendy board games for that age group and such.
It's really weird to think about. There's new games, like board games, being created right
constantly,
now.
all the time.
It's like and there's just, it's amazing. Apparently it's been a kind of a 15-year trend, but a lot of national attention hasn't really happened except for the more like the last 10 years and even more so in the last 5 years where there's all these adult board game groups. But board games have gotten really creative and colorful and sophisticated and fun because it's not just like, oh, I can play Risk as a strategy game. There's just some really creative ones. And so, we're really excited about that because we've got a lot of really good ones and the teens have a lot of fun with them. And, they also just use it as a space to do their own gaming.
and then they're like, we're going to play Uno.
Yeah, or they'll bring some magic cards. And so it's a really great social environment because the library is a very safe space for teens. We have worked really, really hard so that if there's any attempt at bullying or derision, then it's just immediately 86th. And, it's a very welcoming place for teens to just get and hang out. So we love our teen programming. And, we also have Dungeons and Dragons.
This is the third Friday.
Which is the third Friday of every month. And that has just been super popular as well.
Just the character creation. And then you have to figure out, your stats. So there's a whole bunch of critical thinking.
Here's a comment. This is from Liz Peters. She's with Code Ninjas. Have y'all heard of Code Ninjas before?
I love Code Ninjas. They're a really cool program.
Yeah.
Hi, Liz Peters.
Liz said, hey, Code Ninjas is reaching out to all the libraries for some cool some free demos.
Yeah.
And if y'all are interested in that, she could be in touch.
Liz, I got your email a couple months ago if it was you who sent it, and I'm sorry we didn't respond back.
They were closed.
We were in the middle of a renovation. We were bearing down for renovations.
Yeah.
But yes, please reach out to us again because we've done some coding in the past, and we really love it, and the teens have really responded to it. So we'd love it to try it again because it's been a while since we offered that. So that sounds fantastic. So definitely shoot me an email or a phone call. We'll get you in touch with our teen librarian and we'll definitely set something up coming up soon because we have some spots in April for Fridays that, we could do something or May.
What's your email?
My email is LALV as in Victor EY, LALV at Texas-City-Texas. No, I'm sorry. Wait a second. That's the old one.
Oh, no.
I'm so sorry. At texascitytx.gov. You can find my email and my phone number on the library website.
But you can also DM on Facebook.
You can DM on Facebook. I'm on.
And we make sure we get it.
Yeah.
And such.
You can call the library's main line or you can call my direct line, which is 409-643-5970. And I, of course, will respond back to you by a message on Facebook as well because you'll be right there in the comments and I can easily do that on our Facebook page.
That makes it easy. Facebook makes everything easy.
We're really, really active. If you be warned, if you reach out to us on Facebook in any format, we will message you and let you know we got it because we really want people to feel heard.
All right. So going back to the teens and the board games, we touched on board games you've never played before. So those are going to be new ones, new things introduced.
Really awesome. There's just some really, really insanely wacky games that are just so stupid fun that you don't realize how they're making you think.
Yeah. And
they're really waking up elements of your brain that are creative and strategic thinking. There's some really great cooperative games where if everyone doesn't win, nobody wins. That forces them to think strategically together. There's some great games, and it's always just so loud and boisterous and fun and good-natured. It just
in the library, Luke?
We have closed doors.
Okay, the door's closed and everybody's allowed.
So it's loud in there, and I tell you, it's every time we have a board game Friday, I miss being a teen librarian because those kids are just the greatest. They're so much fun.
Yeah. You'd be like, keep it down or make me the teen librarian again.
No.
It's your choice. I'm the director.
Yeah.
That's my
right.
And then, did we touch on the last one? I think there's another day with another game, March 20th.
That's every third Friday we have Dungeons and Dragons, which we touched on briefly. And if you've never played Dungeons and Dragons, but you've been watching the Stranger Things and say, that actually looks kind of like some good nerdy fun. It is great nerdy fun. It is super easy to jump in. Megan is really good at getting people jumped in, which is our teen librarian, but also the people who are our regulars are really welcome and inviting for new players. It's a great way to meet new geeks and have fun. I'm not going to try to sell that Dungeons and Dragons. It's not for geeks. I think the last 40 years of reality has just said, let's just own it, but geeks and nerds are our people at the library. So we hope, you'll check it out. It's really awesome. Besides, the most popular properties in the world now are geek properties. So, we finally took over, Hollywood. So I don't think it's as scary anymore to,
Yeah, and then they're creating everything. With Code Ninjas, they're creating everything that we use. So
yeah,
you have to be smart.
You think it was a jock who invented TikTok teens? No,
sir.
It was another geek.
It's probably someone from Code Ninjas.
Yeah,
they're working on the next whatever's going to take over next. Flip-flop,
or
like
flurp.
TikTok, but better.
Yeah. We don't need 10 seconds. These are 1 second videos.
1 second.
I love it.
That would be something. So, okay, we talked about teen programming, and then we talked about a bunch of adult programming, but there's something that I think y'all have done before. It's called Birding 101.
Birding 101.
Yes.
Love it.
I think a year or so ago we had a birding class. It was a different group. This coming up Saturday, 11 a.m. This Saturday, the 29th, we have one of the area master naturalists, Stenny Maters, coming in, and she's going to be talking all about the birds of Texas City,
Mhm.
like what birds to expect, how and where are good places to bird, and then like different resources on how to identify the different birds. And we've got quite a few patrons who take some amazing photographs.
Absolutely.
And this kind of resource to be like, where can I go to catch these?
Yeah,
catch these birds?
I want to go see these
and
birds.
Such. They're, so we have a lot of interest. And then, of course, with the master naturalists, they're just doing an amazing job in the area.
They're just
they come every Tuesday, clean up the Texas prairie, which I didn't know existed.
Oh, yes.
And then I did. One of their big programs this year is cleaning up microfilaments in the bay. So they're super active with all the environmental and nature things. They're even working with the Galveston Tourist Agency, like with the nature spots and such. So we're super happy to have one of their representatives come in and talk to us about birds and things like that. And sometime in the future, I'm thinking of, we also, looking at, master gardeners as well, but like creating butterfly habitats.
Yes.
In things, but just building up the environment and enjoying nature and the outdoors. And so it's not just educational; it's also good for your health.
Absolutely.
And such. And so it's for all adults and any ages and such. This Saturday, 11 a.m.
And it's a great time for it, because if you're like me and you haven't really jumped too great on your keeping active New Year's resolution. Birding is a really low impact way for people of all ages, all abilities. It's disability friendly birding. It's a way to be out in nature. And even if you're not raising your heart rate, at least you're keeping active. So it's a great way to get started being more active and adding activity to your daily lifestyle.
It's fun.
And it's also great for mindfulness. It's really excellent for mental health, because the aspect of birding is, you're looking at everything, but you're also focusing. And, but it's a very open focus. You're not just looking at your phone for who tweeted you last. You're listening and looking for what birds are tweeting.
And you have to be still.
And you have to be still and in the moment. It is very zen. It is practically free, because you do not need very expensive equipment for birding. It's literally wherever you are. I mean, you don't have to go far to find an area where you're going to be finding birds congregating once you know what to look for. So it's a really egalitarian and open hobby, which I love about birding. It's not one of those things that you get started like model trains and then just realize this is a $10,000 a month hobby.
Yeah. So my dad, he posted to his social media yesterday an experience he had with a bird. It was a hawk.
Yeah.
It was a hawk in the front yard of the house, of the house there.
Yeah.
And it was having some, looked like lunch.
Yeah.
He found something, nature happening, and then he was looking at the cat. There was like a cat that's kind of stray and going after. He's like, "Cat, get out of here!" But it was really cool, because that's not something you see every day.
Right.
I used to have a cat that would kill hawks.
Really?
It was a very small cat. It was, very small, but it was just very, very aggressive. So it would pretend to be lunch, and then the hawk would be. It was very proud of
Didn't
it.
I see pictures of the owl in the library?
It was not inside the library. It was right outside the library. We had a beautiful owl that just decided to make us home one morning. Just, got kind of a little spooked and just stayed in one of our little alcoves for a few hours. And so we got some wonderful pictures of it. So that was a nice birding encounter. But
all right. So this Saturday,
11 a.m.
11 o'clock, you can show up and have that experience and learn what to look for and maybe learn a new hobby, get outdoors, have some fun. So there's one thing I think we have left to talk about. Jessica, this is something that you have
Near and dear.
have been putting together, right?
Yes. So we are actively seeking people interested in volunteering at the library. So this could be just because you want to get out and do things, or maybe you need, I need things for my resume or things like that. But so we're seeking adults, maybe helping, various interests. So we're going to see, what are you interested in? What kind of things have you already done? And let's see what kind of tasks we have. So we're looking, we may have people who are able to be an archival aid. So maybe
Yes.
helping with scanning in the archives or transcription,
Of our oral histories.
Of oral histories, helping set up a display or
Yeah.
things like that. Special programs assistant, maybe someone who will help greet patrons as they come in, or help us with taking pictures or getting photo releases,
In both,
and or helping set up or decorate. Whole bunches of things there.
Yeah, a lot of creative avenues.
And such. And then, maybe shelf reading, which is helping us keep books in order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
And
have
such.
just some very library brass tack stuff like shelf reading, but as the program builds, we'll have archive specialists, program specialists.
Hopefully library ambassadors, people who can help, help with some outreach, or social media ambassadors who will help with the social media.
Outreach, both physical and electrical.
Help with our little free library. So a whole bunch of different.
Sorry.
Oh, but the big thing, we're trying to get together is finding interested adults who are interested in using that time maybe to tutor.
Yeah, we're hoping to do it.
We're
in May.
hoping to do some tutoring, starting with some of the elementary grades and getting available tutors for math and reading.
Mm-hmm.
And then being able to sign up students who, just need some consistent help with a consistent volunteer who can, get them ready to meet expectations, or whatever it is they really need to succeed in their scholastic venues and stuff like that. But so definitely, tutoring, ambassadors, archival aids, so lots of tasks. And we're just starting. So
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
So
Yeah.
give us a call. I'm compiling a list of interested people so that I can blast out, here are the applications and things like that. But everyone will be doing, just in case they need to know, we'll be doing a background check.
Yes.
And such, because there will be, not everyone will be working with the public or is interested in working with the public, which is fine either way. But, we do want to make sure we've created a safe space, even with and for our volunteers and for our patrons and stuff.
Yeah.
So
and that way our volunteers who are volunteering know that everyone they're volunteering with has had a background check. Anyone who's working with the public knows that. And, we just want people to know that while we're having volunteers, we will still have the strictest privacy and confidentiality, policies that you possibly can, because we very much care about that as a public library. So our volunteers will not be able to, access the back end of the catalog and look up people and see what they're checked out or anything like that.
Oh, and we're going to train as well. So we had someone ask that. I don't know how to do this. I'm like, we will train interested volunteers.
We do the training. So, we're as long as we have enough time for Jessica and other staff supporting her to do it, we're hoping to be able to take on anyone who's interested. And then if we have the problem of too many volunteers, then we'll announce it and let people know there's a wait list.
Like, okay.
But
that'd be a good issue.
Yeah,
that'd be a great problem to
issue.
have. But we've had so many people ask for it in the past, but not a whole lot of libraries can offer this service because it takes a whole lot of time preparing for it on the library's part and training, so that you can set up a program that starts to sort of run itself, with the exception of some logistics of just knowing when people are coming and going. That takes a lot of front end work, and we just frankly have not had the time in previous years to do it. But we took the time because, hey, new library, new programs.
All right. So right now it's 11 o'clock.
Oh, whoa.
Holy cow.
It's KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. Hey, thank you guys for hanging out today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Had a good day, huh?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
fantastic.
Y'all are just getting the day started.
Oh, yeah. We got a lot to do.
Today is day 2. I haven't worked out in years and years and years.
And it's your second day of
It's
working
my
out?
second day swimming at the Lowry Center. They have great, so
Awesome.
I'm like, if I can keep this up,
Yeah.
we'll find out next month.
Yes. All right. It's KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. All right. Facebook. Hey, y'all be good. Be blessed. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.